Hello, Scouts, Scouters, and families. Thank you all so much for joining us for our Camp Ross kickoff webinar for as we look into the 2026 summer season. My name is Elizabeth Warren, and I'm the director of the Goshen Scout Reservation here at National Capital Area Council. And I'm really excited for you to join me today to talk all about Cub Scout camping opportunities, specifically Camp Ross at the Goshen Scout Reservation. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we talk about Camp Ross specifically, I do want to talk about summer camp as a whole, and more so, why summer camp? Summer camp is the pinnacle of the scouting year. For many, it's a cornerstone within the scouting experience and allows us to come together and bring together everything within scouting from what your scouts have been learning, applications in their adventures that you've been working on in den and pack meetings, adventure, growth, community, all into one immersive experience. In a summer camp setting, your scouts are going to be able to participate in an immersive outdoor adventure. We know that, or at least I describe scouting as a character and leadership development program that utilizes the outdoors as its classroom. Summer camp is one of those classrooms that our scouts get to experience in that immersive outdoor adventure. There's also advancement opportunities. There are some programs, some electives that your scouts just can't do in a den or in a pack setting, like some of our range and target activities, or maybe swimming and boating, which is available and accessible in that summer camp setting. Summer camp is also a space for leadership development. It's a place where scouts are able to and given the chance to lead, whether they're mentoring younger scouts within their own den or taking initiative during challenges that they may face, including building teamwork, responsibility, and self-reliance. Some of the last ones, we have pack bonding. We see new friendships form and packs become closer together after a week at summer camp. They're exposed to mentors and role models through our camp staff and other adult leaders that our scouts meet at summer camp. And they also get to learn more about the traditions and spirit of scouting and the summer camp that they are attending. Now, when we're talking about, we're going to talk about a few different terms during this webinar today, and I just want to make sure that you're oriented well to them. So let's talk a little bit about ranks at summer camp. If you received an invitation from me to attend this webinar, you may have seen terms like rising used in reference to ranks. So a rising rank means that that is the rank that they will be going into next fall. So Camp Ross, which we're about to learn more about, is a camp specifically for rising 4th and 5th graders. So that means our current Bear and Webelos, our current 3rd and 4th graders, will be rising Webelos and Aeroflight Scouts. They're going into those programs in fall of 2026 as we talk about summer of 2026. So using this graphic over here on the side, a bear that is currently, as we record this webinar, it is October of 2025. If your scout is currently a 3rd grader or a bear, they are a rising Webelo as we talk about their summer camp experience. Same as a current 4th grader, a current Webelo is then a rising Arrow of Light Scout as we talk about their summer 2026 experience. If you have a current Arrow of Light Scout and you're wondering, is Camp Ross the right camp for them, or what does their summer camp experience look like? Your Arrow of Light Scout will be crossing over into the Scouts BSA program, which is the next program available to them based off their grade and age level in scouting. And they should plan to go to summer camp with their new Scouts BSA troop that they'll cross over into probably late winter, early spring of this year. A few more terms that I want to go over before we get into specifics about Camp Ross during this webinar is the types of summer camp experiences that your scouts may have. Within Cub Scouting, there are typically three different types of summer camp experiences. We have day camp, short-term resident camp, and long-term resident camp. A day camp is more of an introductory experience to summer camp and ranges from anywhere from 1 to 5 days in length. But the main section of day camp being is that it lasts during the day. So they go to camp maybe beginning of the day and then return home at the end of the day to then have dinner and sleep at home. So sometimes we see this also referred to as a twilight camp, which may occur in the evening, so after the working day for us adults. But ultimately, a day camp just has program during the day, and there's no overnight component of this particular summer camp. A short-term resident camp is a camp that does have some overnight components to it, but it ranges from 1 to 3 days. So any type of overnight camping that you're doing that is from 1 to 3 days in length and has an overnight, anywhere from 1 to 2 nights within it, that is considered a short-term resident camp. A long-term resident camp, similar to short-term, is longer in length, so generally 3 to 5 days in length, and it includes the overnight experiences for all of those nights. So if you've gone camping with your Cub Scout pack here in National Capital Area Council, your packs may have attended day camp before. They may have gone to Camp Snyder, which is one of our camp properties in Haymarket, Virginia, and that hosts both day camps and short-term resident camps, so camping and summer camp over a weekend period. And then as we talk about Camp Ross, we have our long-term resident camp. So as I like to use this graphic, this is our Cub Scout summer camp progression plan. So we mentioned day camp often being more of an introductory summer camp experience. It's really available for any age and all levels of Cub Scouting, but is really wonderful for those introductory dens. So your lions, tigers, wolves. With that being a great way to get to know the program, the summer camp experience, but still have the ability to return home at the end of the day. We mentioned resident weekends at Camp Snyder in Haymarket, Virginia. So that's the start of that short-term resident camp experience where you're going camping for 3 nights and you have 2 full days of activity. So building up to something longer and more nights outdoors. New as of 2025, we have a bear camp at Camp Snyder. So that is a summer camp just for bears. And we added this program after getting feedback from you, from our units, from our parents, saying that your scouts and as in his families, you were looking for an experience that helped to bridge the gap between 2 nights of camping versus a full week of camping, which is what they'll experience when we go to Camp Ross. So this bear week is age-appropriate activities just for bears, and that is a 4-day, 3-night experience to help to bridge that gap as we then go into our long-term resident camp at Camp Ross, just for our Rising Weeblo and Arrow of Light Scouts, and that is a week-long experience, which we're about to learn more about as I go to this next slide. But I wanted to make sure that you understood how Camp Ross fits into that progression plan and why you're here listening to this webinar today, as well as get oriented on some other programs that are available to our Cub Scout pack. All right, well, welcome to Camp Ross. Camp Ross at the Goshen Scout Reservation is a week-long camping experience for Rising Webelos and Arrow of Light Scouts. You're going to hear me say that line quite a few times during this webinar together, but Camp Ross is one of the camps at Goshen Scout Reservation. Goshen Scout Reservation is a resident camp owned and operated by National Capital Area Council. We're located in Goshen, Virginia, so about 3 to 3.5 hours south of the nation's capital along Route 81. And we host 5 different resident camp experiences for Scouts of all different ages and program levels of the Scouting America program. But again, today we're focusing specifically on you and your scouts in this Camp Ross program. So who should attend Camp Ross? Right now we're talking about Rising Webelos and Arrow Flight Scouts, pack leadership that's involved. So that may be, den leader, assistant den leader, that may be cub master. Any pack leadership is welcome to attend. Parents and guardians are welcome to attend Camp Ross, and your den chief is even welcome to attend Camp Ross with your pack as well. We talked about why Goshen Scout Reservation. Well, let's chat a little bit about why Camp Ross. Camp Ross's slogan is to provide scouts with a great week and an introduction to scouting. If you didn't pick up on our progression plan, one of the things that we feel is really important here in Scouting America and National Capital Area Council is ensuring that your scouts feel comfortable and prepared for going into that next scouting experience and helping to build them up for a successful scouting career. Within Camp Ross, we use fun, adventure, exploration, and advancement opportunities to provide a platform for social development. So if we think about leadership, communication, participation in group activities, as well as curating an experience for building character. There will be places for them to build their responsibility, resourcefulness, resilience. As well as creating just a really unique community environment where our scouts get to meet people from not just all across our council, but all across the country, and at a place of just scouting spirit, which doesn't get to happen every day of their lives. This community environment is a place where scouts come together and they actively live and abide by the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. So our goal at Camp Ross is to expose your youth to an environment where they're going to experience a week-long summer camp program curated with activities specific to their ranks and their age levels and prepare them for their future steps in the scouting program, Scouts BSA. Camp Ross is a week-long program. So what this means is that you're arriving at Camp Ross on Sunday and you're departing on Saturday. And there's lots to do to fill in that time while you're at Camp Ross. So we mentioned arriving at the Goshen Scout Reservation at Camp Ross on Sunday. We typically arrive at camp around 1 p.m. And that first day is all about getting you oriented into camp. There are staff members who greet your pack at a parking lot and say, "Welcome to Camp Ross. We're so excited to see you." And from there, help to orient you to your campsite, help you to settle in, and give you a tour of the rest of camp. So Sunday is your chance to get to know this new environment, your new home for the rest of the week. Settle in, meet a few neighbors of people staying in the campsites around you, and to get prepared for your week of fun and adventure at Camp Ross. Monday through Friday are what I'll call our program days, but we're going to break them up into two sections. Monday and Tuesday is a chance for you to experience all the program areas that we have to offer at Camp Ross, and we'll go over those in just a moment. But Monday and Tuesday is really an orientation, if you will. You get an opportunity to go to every program area at least once that day for an hour period each day. Learn the ropes, especially if you're at our outdoor skills area, but learn our safety procedures and just get comfortable and oriented with those program areas. So then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you're able to create a curated schedule based upon things that your scouts are interested in. So think about Monday and Tuesday as kind of basic introduction to program areas, but learning about the fundamentals of them. And then on Monday evening, you provide to our administrative team a list of the different activities and electives that you'd like to do at each of the program areas. So without being specific, let's say you want to go on the water trampoline at Camp Ross. in our aquatics area. Well, that's great. You say, our number one thing that we want to do on this day is we want to go on the water trampoline. Well, our Camp Ross admin team will help to create a schedule based off your preferences that guide you through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Saturday is your kind of final partial day at camp where you pack up and head home, and we hope to see you the following year. So that's a week in review, but your daily schedule, this is a typical day at Camp Ross, so especially one of those program days where we have a flag ceremony. We start every morning with a flag ceremony at 7:50 in the morning, followed by breakfast at 8 a.m. We have a large dining hall, which we'll talk about in a bit, and we all have breakfast together as a camp. We have program blocks, and that program is where an activity will occur at one of our program areas for about 50 minutes. So you can see we've got 3 program blocks in the morning, followed by a lunch and siesta. So we have an open lunch program where we don't all eat at the same time. It's kind of come and go as you please. And siesta meaning nap time. I love taking a nap during siesta when I can. And then followed by 3 additional hour blocks of programs. We have dinner all together as a camp at 6 p.m. And then we have evening program in the evening. And that evening program rotates every day, so it's never the same. Okay, I think I said the word program more times than I can count on that last slide. So let's talk a little bit more about the different programs that your scouts will get to experience at Camp Ross this coming summer. We have our aquatics area. Some things that you'll get to do at aquatics include swimming. We have a private 450-acre lake called Lake Meriwether, where all of our aquatics programs take place. So swimming, boating, as well as a water trampoline and a slide that goes off of it that we're really excited to have at Camp Ross. So that's our aquatics area. Some advancements that are available there are things like paddle onward and the aquanaut. So we've got applicable electives available to your scouts for both the Webelos and the Arrow of Light rank that they get to participate in together. We also have our BBs area, so that's for your BBs elective adventures for Webelos and Arrow of Light Scouts, as well as some open programming. Archery. We have a nature area. Shown in this photo here is one of our programs called Critter Time, where scouts get to learn all about many of the local fauna that we have here at the Goshen Scout Reservation. It's often a favorite. Handicraft, which includes a theme craft. We have a theme for Camp Ross every single year. For example, 2025 was Mythic Heroes. So if you think Greek mythology, and the year prior was Indiana Ross, so a little bit of Indiana Jones flair. We're excited to reveal our 2026 theme to you, but one of the most popular activities at Handicraft is our tie-dye. Every scout at Camp Ross receives a white t-shirt with the Goshen Scout Reservation logo on it, and you get to tie-dye that as part of your handicraft experience. And lastly, we have a scout craft area. If you are not familiar with the term scout craft, this is generally scout skills or outdoor skills such as fire building, knot tying. During the first 2 days, we do focus on fire building and then the chef safety and knife safety electives so that your scouts are prepared to help with cooking their own meal later that week. Okay, so we've oriented you on the different, some basic structure about Camp Ross, some of the different programs that we have. Let's now chat about the amenities and facilities that are available to you during your time at Camp Ross. First place will be the place that you spend the most time during your time at Camp Ross, which is your campsite and your home for the week. Every pack that attends Camp Ross is assigned to a campsite, and all of these campsites come equipped with a canvas wall tent. We've got a picture here on the bottom left of the screen, which is a standard canvas wall tent seen at many scout camps across the country. These tents are up on a wooden platform, and they typically house two people, so they come equipped with two cots. And both youth and adults should be prepared to share their tent space. Every campsite also has a picnic table, a shade fly or structure, so a way to stay out of the sun and out of the rain, as well as an established campfire circle, as seen on the picture up on the top left of the screen, as well as their own latrine. So every campsite has an assigned latrine, which has a wash stand and potable water, potable meaning drinking. I mentioned earlier that all packs are assigned to a campsite. And some of our packs, if you have been to Camp Ross before, you may have a favorite campsite and really want to select and stay at campsite X. So as part of our registration process, which we'll chat about at the end of this webinar, you're able to request a campsite. But ultimately, we're going to help to select a campsite that best fits the needs and the size of your pack. Other amenities that we have here at Camp Ross, I mentioned earlier that we have an indoor dining hall. Here's a picture of the outside of that dining hall structure, and that's where we have all of our meals together, and it's also the space that we come to for, let's say there's a severe weather event. Well, that dining hall serves as our shelter for the camp. We also have a shower house, which was upgraded with new ventilation this past year in 2025. This shower house has 17 individual shower stalls, so they each have their, a door, and you walk into that stall, and that is a private shower space for you and for your scouts, as well as flush toilets, which are all a part of that shower house facility. And that is fairly local, just off the right hand side of the dining hall is that shower house. We have newly installed fiber optic, both in the dining hall as well as in our administrative center. Down at this bottom right picture here, we have our adult leader lounge, admin porch area, and there's fiber optic internet, so Wi-Fi available both in this space as well as in the dining hall. We know that you're camping, you may want to disconnect, but we're learning that for many leaders, for many parents, it is harder and harder to be able to disconnect from work and from home, and you may be required to jump on a meeting or to check your email while you're away at camp. The primary cell provider in the Goshen Scout Reservation area is Verizon. T-Mobile is starting to be supported in that area, but if you don't have Verizon or T-Mobile, you may not be able to utilize your phone or other cellular services, which is why we've installed that fiber optic for your use and connectivity needs. There's electricity available in these buildings, so if you need to charge your phone, if you're a CPAP user and bringing a rechargeable battery, you need to recharge your battery, that is available for your use. And then we also have an interfaith chapel where we host an interfaith service once a week. Well, you were patient and you got to see, whoops, went a little too far. You're patient and you saw the outside of the dining hall. Let's go ahead inside the dining hall. As we talk about our dining services, this dining hall structure was remodeled in 2016 to be expanded to fit the growing number of Cub Scouts who wanted to come to Camp Ross. So it is a modern dining hall facility with what we call family style dining services. So family style, if you look at the photo on the bottom left there, you see a pack with communal food bowls that are brought out to the table, and then you get to serve yourself out of those bowls. So that's why that's called family meal style communal bowls that you then transfer onto your own plate. We provide food for you from Sunday dinner. So you're arriving with us Sunday in the afternoon. We then provide you with Sunday dinner and every meal throughout the week up until Saturday breakfast. So providing Saturday breakfast to you ahead of your departure. We are a nut-free dining facility. We try to keep in mind all of the top 13 allergens. This being noted that we do sell nut products in our trading post, but the dining hall itself is a nut-free facility and available at all times in the dining hall and out for your consumption is fresh fruit, sun butter as a nut-free alternative, and jelly. We have coffee, hot water, and tea. And as of course, we have iced water coolers, not just at the dining hall, but we have water spread throughout camp and encourage you and your scouts to make sure you're drinking to stay hydrated in what is often a hot environment at summer camp. We are here to support you and your scouts for all of your dietary needs. I've mentioned on that last slide that we are a nut-free dining facility, and we're prepared for other dietary restrictions or allergies that you or your scouts may have. We do have a dedicated vegetarian menu along with our standard menu. And then we also often accommodate for dietary restrictions such as gluten-free and dairy-free. And we often can always provide a list of ingredients to you upon request if you or a parent has concerns about the contents of an allergen that may be in a meal. This all being said about us being there for you and to support you, this is a partnership in being prepared for your summer camp experience. So part of our registration for every camper is we ask the PAC to report the dietary restrictions and allergies of their scouts and adult leaders who are attending. This then, our kitchen service staff is able to take that information and it helps us to plan our ordering and ensure that we have all the food that we need to best meet the needs of your pack. So that's not something that you need to do right now, but as we get closer to the summer camp season, as you're registering your scouts to attend Camp Ross, please keep in mind that we will need that information about dietary restrictions and allergies as a part of the registration process so that we can best serve you and your scouts. Another service that we have here at Camp Ross is our first aid station as well as a health lodge. I mentioned earlier that Camp Ross is a part of the greater Goshen Scout Reservation. Camp Ross itself has a dedicated first aid room where we have an American Red Cross first aid certified and trained staff member who is available and on call in that room 24 hours a day. Your camp first aider, so the first aid staff at Camp Ross, has access to the Greater Goshen Scout Reservation Health Lodge. And that Health Lodge team is comprised of medical professionals that are required to at least hold either emergency medical technician, EMT certification, or higher, such as a registered nurse. And they are always available to provide consult and additional support for any first aid needs that you or your scouts may have while you were with us at Camp Ross. We also maintain a very close relationship with our local medical and emergency services, and this allows us to connect you with the best care possible if an event that we call beyond scout rendered first aid is needed. That may be going to the local urgent care or in some cases the local emergency department. We're also prepared to provide mental health counseling services to you and your scouts. Well, my favorite place to go is not the health lodge, but it's probably going to the trading post. And the trading post is certainly the most popular spot at camp next to that water trampoline down at Aquatics. Goshen Scout Reservation supports a trading post at every single one of our resident camps. So Camp Ross has its own trading post. And there at that trading post, we host apparel, so your Goshen Scout Reservation and Camp Ross t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants. It can be chilly sometimes in the morning, so people are grateful for those sweatshirts. Other souvenirs, camping supplies, snacks and ice cream, drinks, and of course the most popular item, slushies. So beyond Camp Ross, we also have the Memorial Trading Post, which is located at our overall Goshen Scout Reservation headquarters called Camp Post. And often when scouts go down to our swimming hole area, which is an activity that your scouts are able to sign up for as part of an activity you can participate in during that Wednesday through Friday period, they stop by at the Memorial Trading Post, which also houses our Goshen Scout Reservation Museum. And our scouts often and almost always enjoy the opportunity to learn more about the Goshen Scout Reservation and the founding of it. If you're not aware, Goshen Scout Reservation will be celebrating its 60th anniversary in 2027. So we encourage any and all to attend and get to see that museum. All right, heading into the final leg of our webinar here, let's talk about our schedule. Camp Ross is open for 6 weeks of program this summer, starting during the last full week of June and going into the last week of July to early August. Our week 1 session of summer camp is currently full. So if you have not made a registration yet to attend Camp Ross in 2026, and you were planning to attend week 1, that is currently at capacity. Now that being said, we do have a wait list in place. At the time of me recording this on October 28th, 2025, we do have 4 packs on the wait list. So I would encourage you at this point to consider attending another week at camp, and we're still happy to place you on that wait list. So start looking at weeks 2 through 6 as opportunities for your scouts to attend camp. We're going to have an action items list that we talk about at the end of this webinar. One of the things to think about is, when are you, as the adult leader who is bringing your scouts to camp, maybe you're helping to spearhead this as your PAC's camp registration coordinator, but then also thinking about of all the scouts and parents who have expressed interest in attending Camp Ross, when is the greatest number of scouts and parents available to attend camp? At this time, I'm not able to share our 2026 cost of camp, but I can share with you the 2025 cost of camp, as well as say that we don't anticipate a large increase between 2025 to 2026. In 2025, the cost of camp for a youth camper was $525, and for an adult, it was $270. So this early discount is in place until April 15th of 2026. We keep that early bird date on April 15th of every year. And then the cost of camp does increase by $30 for youth and $40 for adults after that April 15th deadline. So let's talk about a few other terms and deadlines that we have in regards to the cost of camp. We are currently in the unit registration phase, and that means that we are accepting registrations for a unit, a pack, to attend Camp Ross. Part of that is when you go to register your unit to Camp Ross, we are currently accepting a unit registration fee. This is a one-time $200 fee that not only holds and reserves your place for camp, as well as the number of spots that you've designated for your campers, both youth and adult, but it also helps us to make meaningful upgrades and improvements to the Goshen Scout Reservation as we anticipate your arrival for summer 2026. This unit registration fee is non-refundable, and it is also separate from our camper costs. So it is not something that is then later applied to the cost of a camper. So as we mentioned, we're in that unit registration fee. After that closes, we will open the camper deposit time period. So from that total cost of camp, we ask for a deposit of $100 for each camper, just each youth camper, to attend camp. And really what we're trying to do is by February 15th, we would love to have a better idea of the number of people that are attending camp at the Goshen Scout Reservation. And that allows us to say, okay, so of the number of people that we anticipated coming during this week, we actually have this many. So we either need to close registration because we have more people coming, or we can open registration. So when we think about that week one session, which is currently at capacity, if packs bring fewer campers than they anticipated, we're able to open that up a little bit more and allow more campers to come in. So that deposit one breaks up the cost of camp into more of a payment schedule for your family, so they don't have to put it all down at one time. But it also allows us to serve as many youth as we possibly can going into the summer season. Lastly, for every 10 youth that you bring to Camp Ross, you receive one free adult leader. So think about that. The more youth that are able to come to camp will give you a free adult leader to attend. Speaking of the cost of camp, I do want to ensure that you are familiar and aware of our financial aid or campership program that we have here in National Capital Area Council. We believe that no youth should be turned away from the opportunity to attend summer camp, and therefore we have and provide financial aid of up to 50% of the cost of camp to applicants. To apply for a campership program, visit the financial support page on ncacscouting.org. That's the National Capital Area Council website. And when you're clicking to apply for that campership at the Goshen Scout Reservation, select NCAC Cub Scout Resident Camp at Goshen on the financial aid request form. And this will signify that you are looking for a campership for Camp Ross. Now, there are other things that you can apply for here, such as day camp, Camp Snyder, the annual program registration fee for National Capital Area Council, but just know that there is financial aid and campership availability for youth attendees. Recipients of financial aid will receive a campership voucher email to the email that was used to apply for their financial aid, and that is then applied to the camper registration. All right, when we're thinking about, we mentioned earlier who can attend Camp Ross. I do want to ensure that we're familiar with the Guide to Safe Scouting and the Scouting America membership and supervision requirements that we must follow as members of Scouting America. Goshen Scout Reservation for our Cub Scout packs does have a 1-to-4 adult to scout ratio. So for every for every 4 scouts, you should plan to bring 1 adult. You do at all times for your pack, you are required to have 2 adults who are currently registered members of Scouting America that are over the age of 21 present with your pack at all times. So at least 2 of those adults must be currently registered in Scouting America and over 21 years of age. When I say currently registered, I mean not just currently now, but currently going through that summer season and through your time at Camp Ross. Continuing with the Guide to Safe Scouting, if your pack has youth female campers attending, then one of the 2 registered adult leaders that's attending with your pack must be female as well. In Cub Scouts, we allow parents and guardians to attend without being members of Scouting America. So additional parents and guardians who do attend with your pack are not required to be members of Scouting America. So if you're thinking about our total composition of adults that are attending, you have 2 adults who are currently registered, and then any parent or guardian who would like to attend is welcome as well. And those additional adults count towards that 1-to-4 ratio. Any unregistered parent or guardian must be accompanied by those registered leaders, and they're only responsible for their youth per the Guide to Safe Scouting. Lastly, we do ask that at least one of the adults attending with your pack be Baloo trained. Like many trainings, the more the merrier. So if you've got more adults who are Baloo trained, that is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. But this will really help your pack to be best prepared for the outdoor camping experience that you'll be participating in during your week at Camp Ross. Now, I know I just went over a lot of requirements, and I also recognize that it can be difficult sometimes for adults to take off a full week of work to attend a summer camp experience. So with this in mind, we do have a split week program. So that means that two adults could split a registration and each attend half of the week, making up one adult for coverage altogether during that week experience. So often we see two adults splitting that week. Maybe one attends Camp Ross from Sunday to Wednesday, and the other one attends from Wednesday to Saturday. And that would be a split adult that is on one registration. You only have to pay for one adult for those two that are splitting that registration. I want to go over a few resources that are available to you as we start to go into the end of our presentation. On our website, go to goshen.org, specifically on the Camp Ross page, we have a Camp Ross toolkit. And this is a set of materials that is aimed to best prepare you for your role as your unit's camp registration contact, as well as for your pack during your summer camp experience at Goshen Scout Reservation. So this includes a Camp Ross promotional trifold, a promotional presentation and script. So your next task after listening to this webinar may be going and drumming up some excitement and commitment to attend Camp Ross. Will that hand out that trifold as well as the presentation and script could be aids in helping you with your presentation. We also have a 6 action steps to preparing for summer camp flyer, and that we're actually going to go over that in our next slide together. We have a camper and a packing list available for your review. I know heading into the holiday seasons, I often look at those packing lists and think of like, what could I get as a gift for somebody that's off this packing list that they may not have but will need as they get ready to go to Goshen this coming summer. We've also got a really great video. If you're not familiar, Goshen Scout Reservation has a YouTube channel, and one of my favorite videos to show to parents and pack leaders that are thinking about attending Camp Ross is our What Leaders Are Saying About Camp Ross video. That is just adults and parents who are at Camp Ross telling other adults and parents, this is why you need to send your pack and your scouts to Camp Ross. And lastly, we have a frequently asked questions page of just some of the questions that I often get. We try to anticipate what your questions may be. So all of that is available on our Goshen Scout Reservation website on our Camp Ross page. Let's talk a little bit about those 6 action steps and preparing for your summer adventure. First, we talked about this a little bit. You're going to pick a date. Look at our calendar and select the date that either best works for you as the adult leader who is sponsoring this trip to Camp Ross, or take a poll of all the scouts that are interested in attending and see which week best works for your pack to attend Camp Ross. Next, and I know that this step might not be the way that all packs function, but it may be how yours functions. I recommend getting on your pack's committee meeting agenda to inform them about your attendance at Camp Ross. And that's all that it has to be, saying we're going to be going to Camp Ross. Here's when we're going. Here's the leaders who are supporting it, and here's how you as the pack can support this experience. Next, we just talked about that Camp Ross toolkit. That Camp Ross toolkit is a great resource, and you should read it. Read it, review it, get to know it, and truly use that as the toolkit to help you have a successful summer camp experience, especially during the planning and lead up to your summer camp experience. Well, now that you've picked a date and you've told your committee and the pack when you're attending, add it to your den, so your current Bear and current Webelos dens, as well as your pack's calendar, so that people are aware that that's when it's happening and they should start planning to attend Camp Ross during that time. We talked about some promotions. You're going to want to present Camp Ross to your current Bear and Webelos dens as a way to gain excitement and commitment. So that's where some of that Camp Ross toolkit can come into play. One of the things that I've heard from packs that they find very successful is that they chat or they bring in a youth who has attended Camp Ross, a year or two prior. It may be somebody currently who's an Arrow of Light, or maybe somebody that's crossed over into Scouts BSA from your pack, and they come back in and they tell all your scouts about the great and awesome experience that they had at Camp Ross, and that really helps to get people excited about wanting to attend in the future. So presenting Camp Ross to your den to gain interest and commitment. And last is then register your pack to attend Camp Ross. So let's talk about how to register. Our website, which is gotogoshen.org, is the space to register at, and registration is currently live for summer 2026. Our registration opened this past July. We were accepting reservations for 2026 while people were at camp in 2025. That's how much they wanted to go to camp. So as you're promoting Camp Ross to your den and gaining their interest and commitment, there are 3 questions that you should ask yourself and write down. So the first one is one that we've talked about already. It's what week, when will you be attending Camp Ross? The next one is how many youth do you plan to have at Camp Ross? And then a similar question, how many adults do you plan to bring with you to Camp Ross? Now, these numbers do not need to be firm. If you find at some point that you need to change the week that you're attending Camp Ross, that's okay. We're happy to help you change that reservation. And if you end up bringing more people than what you anticipated, or fewer, that's okay too. This really just helps us to figure out how close we are to our capacity, because we do have a total number of campers that we can support during any one week at camp, and helps us to plan to provide your best possible experience to you. So to register, you're going to go to gotogoshen.org/registration. And at the bottom of the page, you'll select Register for Camp Ross 2026. And from that page, that'll allow you to select the week that you're planning to attend Camp Ross and to put in place and pay that unit registration fee to hold your pack's place at camp. So some homework that we have ahead of our next webinar. Speaking of webinars, this is a part of a series. We're going to host webinars throughout the year, leading up to your summer camp experience, with curated content that best supports the time of year and planning that you should be in. So the next one that we'll have is this coming November, in November 2025, to talk about registering individual campers to attend camp. So this is one part of our greater Goshen Scout Reservation webinar series. But your homework is figure out when you're going to go to camp, pick a week, talk to your pack about going and gain commitment, and then register your pack to attend Camp Ross in 2026. I want to thank you all so much for joining us for this webinar. Summer camp is my home. It's really such a wonderful, wonderful place to be. And we see our scouts change for the better in the growth and leadership skills they develop during their week at summer camp. This webinar has been recorded, and it will be posted and available for viewing on the Goshen Scout Reservation and National Capital Area Council YouTube pages, as well as on the We Own Adventure blog spot. If you need more information in the meantime, including getting in contact with me, Elizabeth Warren, please visit our Goshen website at gotogoshen.org, and my information is available there for you. Thank you all so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you at Camp Ross.